millions of years, food of any sort was hard to come by. So those that craved food that was high in calories and rich in fat were more likely to survive. It was survival of the fattest. But why are those instincts still with us today? The story starts about 4.5 million years ago when our first human ancestors were identified. This ribbon represents the time which has passed from then until the present day, making a single stride the equivalent of 100,000 years. Walking through time towards the present day, we pass thousands of generations of early humans who struggled to survive in this barren landscape. Those of them who craved calorie-rich food lived and passed on their genes to their children. Those who didn't died. Gradually, over millions of years, that craving for calories became instinctive behavior, handed down from generation to generation, and it's still embedded in all of us today. Just 10 centimeters from the end of this ribbon, this flag is the distance in time, 10,000 years, since humans first started cultivating crops. And the tip of this pencil represents the last 100 years, when for some of us at least, food has been readily available and plentiful. So it's no surprise that the instincts which were forged so many millions of years ago have not yet caught up with the plenty that some humans are now fortunate enough to enjoy. The instinct to have the right type of food is very powerful. We know what to eat even in the most unfamiliar landscape. Ken Wilson's instincts to find nourishment were tested to the limit when a trip to Mexico went disastrously wrong. He was visiting a ruin in the jungle and took a wrong path, one that nearly led to his death. After days alone, Ken was desperately hungry. He was deep in the jungle, surrounded by unknown plants and animals, but he sensed which food would keep him alive.
I was sort of looking for anything that might be of some nourishment, and I saw this lizard. I was trying to decide if I was really that desperate or not, but I knew that I had to eat something. As I started to put him in my mouth, he sprawled out his little legs in my throat and kind of made me gag, and I'd pull him back out, and I had to smack his head up against a tree a couple of times to make sure he was dead. And I swallowed him whole.
But one small lizard didn't sustain Ken for long, and soon he was close to death.
It'd been 12, 13 days. I noticed there was vultures that started following me around. First few days there was a couple there, and then there were a few more, and I began to wonder if maybe they knew something that I didn't. And that kind of gave me the creeps. I would watch them circle overhead. One day, the vultures were so close, they circled all the way down to the ground, and I could actually hear the wind off their wings when they went by. I gave a lot of thought to dying after a while, but then again, I had to convince myself that I was perfectly capable of getting out of there on my own, and I was going to do it.
Ken needed to find more food if he was going to live.
I saw some fruit that was growing on a tree. As I bit into it, it didn't taste so bad at first. And as I started to chew it, it became very bitter. It had a chemical taste like lighter fluid. It was awful. I was afraid that was going to be poison.
The instinct to spit out the bitter-tasting fruit may well have saved Ken's life. After 19 days in the jungle, Ken walked out alive. What helped Ken survive is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment. The human tongue has a number of uses, but its basic function is to tell us what's good for us and what could harm us. 5,000 taste buds let us know what to swallow and what to spit out. And to stay in perfect working order, taste buds only last 10 days before new ones develop. Our tongues are the gatekeepers to our stomachs. The way we interpret taste is a vital life-saving instinct, and it's one that emerges at a remarkably young age. Foods that have lots of useful energy often taste sweet and sugary. That's why babies instinctively like sweet foods, like this banana puree. It's just what their instincts ordered. Whereas a lot of toxic foods taste bitter. Even though this pureed radicchio is perfectly safe, its bitter taste is enough to activate the long-evolved survival instinct.
And it's not just babies that find bitter food disgusting. We all do.
For our ancient ancestors, life was a constant struggle. And it wasn't just finding the right food to eat. Physical threats were everywhere. Here, our survival instincts were honed in an endless round of life and death dramas. These instincts are still deep within us today, and perhaps that's why at times we go looking for danger, to test them out.